When I deployed overseas, I left behind 600 acres of family ranchland just outside a fast-growing suburban development. The ranch had been in my family since my great-grandfather bought it with cash after World War II. No HOA, no covenants, no shared roads, just cattle fences, dirt access paths, and a whole lot of quiet. At least, that's how it was supposed to be. Before I left, the neighboring homeowners association, Silver Ridge Estates HOA, had already been circling my land like vultures. Their cookie-cutter homes were spreading fast, and my ranch sat right in the middle of their future expansion zone. They'd sent letters, they'd sent surveys, they'd sent a woman named Linda Prescott, HOA president, who smiled while threatening me with lawsuits. "You'll sell eventually," she told me, standing at my gate in designer sunglasses. "Everyone does." I laughed and told her I'd sooner let the land return to dust. Then I deployed. The sale I never made. My tour lasted 16 months. I had spotty internet, limited contact, and a head full of other priorities, like staying alive. Halfway through my deployment, my power of attorney expired. I didn't renew it because I didn't need to. Or so I thought. What I didn't know was that Silver Ridge HOA had been working behind the scenes the entire time. They filed paperwork claiming my land was abandoned. They alleged unpaid access fees for roads I didn't use. They claimed environmental violations based on inspections they never conducted. Then they did something even bolder. They sold my ranch, piece by piece, lot by lot. They created a shell development company, Silver Ridge Expansion LLC, transferred the land through forged signatures, and began selling parcels to homeowners who believed they were buying legitimate property. By the time I landed back in the States, over 40 houses sat on my land. Coming home to trespassers, I drove straight from the airport to the ranch, or what was left of it. My cattle fences were gone. My barn was demolished. There were paved streets where my horses used to run. Street signs bore HOA-approved names like Patriot Way and Liberty Court. The irony nearly made me sick. I stopped my truck in the middle of what used to be my north pasture. A man watering his lawn stared at me like I didn't belong there. "Can I help you?" he asked. I looked at the row of houses, the mailboxes, the kids riding bikes. "I own this land," I said quietly. He laughed. "Buddy, you're standing in Silver Ridge Estates." That's when I knew something had gone very, very wrong. The HOA's biggest mistake. I didn't scream. I didn't threaten anyone. I didn't even confront the HOA yet. Instead, I went home and made one phone call. To the Army Judge Advocate General (JAG) office. I explained everything. My deployment, the forged sale, the development built in my absence. The officer on the other end went silent for a long moment. "Sergeant," he said slowly, "do you know what the Servicemembers Civil Relief Act is?" I smiled for the first time since landing. "Oh," I said, "I do now. Under federal law, any sale, seizure, or transfer of property belonging to an active duty service member, without a court order, is void." Not voidable, void. Legally, it was as if the sale had never happened. The federal hammer falls. Within weeks, things escalated fast. The Army opened an investigation. Federal prosecutors joined in. Title companies started panicking. Silver Ridge HOA tried to bluff their way through it. Linda Prescott went on local news claiming they had followed proper procedures. That lasted until the subpoenas arrived. Turns out, my signature was forged on 9 separate documents. The HOA president personally notarized paperwork she had no authority to touch. HOA funds were used to pay bribes to a zoning clerk. The development company was owned by Linda's brother. And the cherry on top, they knowingly sold property belonging to a deployed service member. That's not just illegal. That's federal felony territory. The homeowners panic. Once the investigation went public, panic swept through Silver Ridge. Homeowners flooded HOA meetings demanding answers. What do you mean we don't own our homes? Why are federal agents here? Why is the Army involved? The HOA board resigned one by one. Linda tried to disappear. But you can't hide from the federal government. The court's ruling. 6 months later, a federal judge issued a ruling that shook the entire county. Every sale conducted during my deployment was nullified. Every deed, invalid. Every mortgage, unsecured. Every house, built on land still legally owned by me, The court didn't mince words. The plaintiff's military service was exploited in a calculated and fraudulent scheme. The law demands full restoration. Restoration. That meant the land came back to me. All of it, including everything built on it. Reclaiming what was mine. I didn't bulldoze the houses. I didn't kick families out overnight. I did something far more devastating and legal. I became their landlord. I offered short-term occupancy leases while banks sorted out their mess. Rent was fair, but firm. Some homeowners blamed me. Most blamed the HOA. Banks sued the title companies. Title companies sued the HOA. The HOA's insurance refused coverage due to fraud. Linda Prescott was arrested on charges of wire fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy. She cried in court. No one cared. The final blow. 1 year later, I made an offer. I'd sell the land back, but only as raw acreage, no HOA, no authority, no shared control. Developers begged. Banks negotiated. In the end, I sold at triple market value, with one condition. Silver Ridge HOA would be permanently dissolved. The judge approved it. The HOA that tried to steal my land ceased to exist on paper. Coming full circle. Today, part of the ranch is restored pasture. The rest is leased farmland. There's no HOA sign at the entrance anymore, just a simple gate with my family name welded into steel. Sometimes I drive past and see kids playing where fences once stood. I don't hate them. They were collateral damage in someone else's greed. But I do smile when I remember this. The HOA thought my absence made me weak. They forgot something important. I didn't leave my land unprotected. I left it under the protection of the United States Army. And the Army always comes back for its own.